I'm giving two thumbs up. I'm live. How about you, Brian?
I think
Hey,
I'm
everyone.
live. I
Yeah,
think
are you?
so.
You look alive. So, hey, everyone. Welcome back to Fast Charging with B&B. I am Bear.
And I am Brian.
All right. So, welcome back. We got another show for you today, going over a whole host of topics as we always do, and I think some of them are kind of cool. Some of them are kind of exciting. I
Yeah.
got something to surprise Brian with that he doesn't know about yet,
Oh,
which is
I'm excited.
oh yeah, surprises. All right. So, Brian, you got anything new going on you want to
New.
mention before we get into this?
Well, I thought it'd be a fun time to mention the stock rallied. The Tesla stock rallied. Apparently, investors figured out that, Berlin is a factory and it is open for business. So I had a big, strong day, up, 8%, and up 23% on the week. Not
That's
bad.
that is pretty good. $72 for the day. It's just funny how it rallies on the day that they open up the factory. Like, you guys aren't paying attention? This was not one of those instant factories. They've been building this for 2 years.
Right.
Maybe it's just the anticipation or all the delays that okay, we're finally past this. But we knew that yesterday. We knew this was coming yesterday. We knew it the day before. Last week we knew it was happening today. So I'm not sure why we rally today based on that. Maybe it was
Yeah.
based on something else.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. On my side, the gang is saying I've got some weird echo. Let's see if it sorts itself out, and if not, we'll see if we can make some adjustments from there.
Yeah, you actually sound good on my side, so that sucks for you.
It always, it does. It does. Better. Okay, good. Oh,
All right, it's sorted itself out. Next week's show because then we're going to be past the earnings, not the earnings, the analyst day. So
okay.
not, but going right on to the next topic because I had no segue. We're going to go to the F-150 Lightning.
So the sticker came out. Cool is that? 70 miles per gallon equivalent. 68 miles on the bigger boy, and 66 on the biggest boy of them all. How do you feel about 66 miles per gallon equivalent?
Uh, uh, I think that beats Rivian though, doesn't it? Um, it's a good starting point. Um, it's not great, but I think it is a good starting point. Um, what I'm more concerned with on these trucks is I went and looked at one. I tried to build one earlier this week or last week, and to go from that 230-mile range to that 320 requires a battery pack that costs $20,000
Wow.
from from that standard range to the extended range. It is a $20,000 increase, and that's at all levels. Whether you're getting at all levels that it's available at. So I was looking at the XL, and boom, boom, $20,000, and that's at $39,974. Nice price point, odd number. Um, but you want to get the 320 in that. That is another 20 grand right there. That's without any other options. And Ford's still kind of doing their thing with tons of. Oh, look at that! Someone forgot to silence his phone. Probably one of our viewers doing that. Um, that was probably Ford's still doing their thing where they've got 1,000 different options you can add on to it,
Of course.
which it's always very frustrating, and they all cost hundreds of dollars. My biggest pet peeve right now on the F-150 Lightning is that what I noticed on the build your own thing is that there's the entry level model is supposed to be a work truck, but you cannot get it in a work truck form. It only comes in the four-door cab.
Huh. That's a. Well, I would say that's a misstep, but I think when they say it's a work truck, what they're saying is don't expect any sort of premium options. And also, the 39,974 I think is getting on towards a bit unrealistic because of inflation alone. It was difficult before. It's more difficult now. And I want Ford to be able to make a profit so that they can stay in business and join the electric revolution in a meaningful way, which is increasingly difficult.
Yeah, and I think that they will. They're obviously making steps in the right direction. They're going to be producing this in the next couple of months. But there are still things that are lacking. And my big thing is the whole work truck part. They sell a regular cab. They sell an extended cab right now. And for someone who you got an electrician, he's going to put all of his stuff in the back. You don't have the 8-foot bed option. You just have the small bed with which means they're throwing everything in the back seats.
Right. And can you buy it without a bed for other applications?
Oh, that is they're nowhere near that yet.
No. So, unfortunate. But did you know that the Mustang Mach-E is so sold out? It's way sold out for like ever, is what I saw.
That's what Jim Farley said. We are sold out for a couple of years now.
Cool.
I tried to get more of the quote, but he says they are sold out of their electric vehicles for a couple of years now. So, last week I was mentioning that I was looking for a new EV.
Kia? Hyundai? Hyundai.
I was looking at Kia EV6, which I drove, which is actually faster than a Tesla Model Y.
Wow.
After checking the stats on it, the all-wheel drive model is 0 to 60 in like 3.6 or 3.5, somewhere in the mid threes. It was pretty fast. Had a lot of torque steer, so I don't even think I gave it as much. I was going to say gas, as much pedal as I would have, because we had a little bit of woo, and I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, the EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq 5. I was also looking at a Mustang Mach-E, which, according to this, they're sold out. Well, It is true that I could not get one. I could not go in and buy one unless I was going to pay an extra $10,000. But there were a few out there, but I was not paying the dealer markup. And everybody told me, goes, well, if you want one, just go order one. But that goes contrary to what Mr. Farley's saying, that they're sold out. So needless to say, I went online and I ordered one. And I ordered a Mustang Mach-E Select model.
Okay.
And only the Select and the GT are available. The Premium and the Route 1 are no longer available, as I don't know how they can be sold out. They're just trim variants. The Premium has a larger battery like the GT, but there's not that much difference between a GT. If you can get a GT, there's no reason why you can't get a Premium or a Route 1. So I ordered a red Select base model, no options, standard battery, no bells, no whistles, and I'm going to have that in 5 to 6 months, which is a lot sooner than the 2 years that he said that he sold out for. So I don't get it.
So they're okay. I think I can crack the code. You ready?
Go ahead.
We are sold out entirely of the Route 101 that we're not selling anymore. But if you want anything else, baby, please get in line, because it's a short line.
Yeah. Hurry.
Is that what it is?
Before we're sold. It might be, but I wouldn't be telling people I was sold out, because there are people that go, okay, well, let's not look at that.
Yeah.
Let's go look.
Right?
Let's go look at the EV6 or the Ioniq 5 or whatever Chevy is throwing out that might burst into flames.
Yeah, that's
You
wild.
can still get a new Bolt.
Well, by the way, this isn't on our list, but I don't know if you saw, production and deliveries for Q1 on the Hummer are up 10 times, 1,000% from last quarter.
That's because they sold one, right?
Yeah, last quarter. But this quarter they sold 10. At the rate they're increasing, by 2026 or so, they'll have consumed every atom in the known universe. So it's really big growth.
Did you know Mary Barrow is going to be out there spouting off that they have a quarter growth of 1,000%, and they're just doing better than anybody. Who else is growing as fast as 1,000%?
Right. It's so stupid. Did you hear that they had to recall 100% of the Hummers?
What for?
Taillight. Software fix on the taillight that they couldn't do over the air.
Did they get the wires backwards? Left is right and right is left?
No, because it was still just a software update. They just can't do it over the air. So,
Well,
did you know that Volkswagen is going to put a little bit of money into building out capacity for EVs in North America?
Yeah, I mean, if that's a little bit of money to you, I'd like to borrow a tenth of that little bit of money.
Sure.
No, actually, I'd like you to give it to me.
Sure. I mean,
Yes.
it's a little bit. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
For someone like Volkswagen, this is an above average investment, but it's crazy to me to think 7.1 billion. Giga Texas is probably only about 4 billion. So they've got some pretty shocking inefficiencies in their systems, but at least they're taking the steps and they are absolutely serious about electrification.
Yeah, that is a lot of money. That's why I keep seeing these billion-dollar numbers thrown around, and I don't understand why it's costing them so much when you've got this startup in Austin, Texas that is not spending that much, and they've
Right.
built something that's pretty massive. So,
Right. Well, like we were talking about last week with Rivian's cash burn rate, they're at the point that Tesla was at when they were selling 250,000 cars. That's unsustainable. And now we found out this week Rivian is not even making it doesn't even develop their own motors and battery management systems. It's all third party.
yeah. So, what do you think they're lacking? What is their supply chain issue? Batteries?
Well, considering all the struggles that everyone else is having, bibs and bobs. It's everything. It's little. You only need to miss one piece to not be able to build a car. Unless
you
you're
can
Ford,
just
in which case we'll send you out your microcontrollers later. But
Or BMW, you don't get a screen.
or Tesla, no more passenger lumbar support.
Or USB port.
Yeah, yeah. Because you can get those on Wish, but would you wanna?
I get it on Etsy. It'll be colorful.
Oh yeah, it'll be sparkly and bedazzled too. That's great. Anything else about VW we should talk about?
Yeah, they're going to spend that money in the hopes that they can make this cool on the outside, disgusting on the inside. Buzz. I like it on the outside.
I really do. Yeah,
Want to throw up on the interior.
yeah. The inside is, I mean, boring is not even the right word. It is really disappointing on the inside. The version that's already coming out in Germany is a shorter wheelbase. Or no, the wheelbase is the same. The overhangs are, I don't remember. But it is a shorter one, which will not have a third row. And the US model apparently will have a third row because that's what our market demands of minivans. So it'll be interesting to see. And also, I believe the range of the US model will be longer. Because, again, in Europe, they measure distance in kilometers, and we measure distance in hours.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know how
And,
far anything actually is. I can tell you how long it takes to get there.
Well, you've driven across country and you've driven in areas that are desolate.
Yeah.
And I've never been to Europe, but I have a feeling there aren't areas in Europe that look quite like they do when you're driving from Vegas to Phoenix,
Right.
or from Phoenix to LA or San Diego.
Europe is
it's
very
just-
compact.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You
It
hop
was
a
a-
train and you cross 3 countries in a few hours.
Yeah, and that's something we do here. We hop a train and we can cross a couple states in a few hours. So,
Only if you're on the East Coast. On the West Coast,
Well,
it'll
on the-
take you a day to get out of the state.
I'm from the East Coast, so
that's right. That's
I
right.
remember doing that all
That's
the
right.
time.
And that's where
You know.
trains actually work, more or less, in the U.S.
Yes.
So did you know that Volvo is partnering up with Starbucks to put in a bunch of chargers at Starbucks locations in the West?
I think that's cool. Just the fact that there'll be more chargers. I just, if I did that, I could not stop. I'm not a coffee person, and I would be stopping at the bathroom at every single one of them. What's that? You got there coffee?
Coffee. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more of a fruity kind of drink guy.
The but it's great. The fact that it's in partnership with Starbucks tells me that they got the space, the land for cheap or free. They've got an upscale built-in. I mean, it's to me, it's a make sense partnership. I'm a little disappointed. As many as 15 locations, with up to 4 DC fast chargers each. Hey, man, it's a starting point, and these could be out within a year or two, which is, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. 50. That part about as many as 15
Right.
locations. But
Desperately disappointing. So then we've got this cool little one I saw, Beam. It's a level 2 charger with solar panels built right on. Makes it seem like it's self-contained, but there's no battery, so it's generating, it feeds into the grid, it pulls from the grid to charge your car. Again, every bit helps. I'll take it.
yeah, you wonder why they didn't put any batteries on that.
They're expensive.
It they'll end up being cheaper if people are actually paying for that.
Well, it
It would
depends where
be
you are. I don't know where this was taken. That looks like San Francisco, though. Definitely West Coast, I would say. This, it depends where you are. If you can sell surplus power back in at a good rate, you don't need batteries. Not sustainable
Yeah.
for 1000xing the numbers out there.
There is not enough panels on there.
No,
Uh,
no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 panels. No, no.
yeah, so those panels are going to offset charging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And provide the smallest amount of shade possible, which is also nice.
Maybe depends on the time of day. Not on that particular day. Plus, it doesn't look like that thing moves with the sun, or maybe it does. Let's take another. I'm going to say no. Doesn't look like it moves, but you got to put a battery on something like that because it's really not much of a charger if it's cloudy. If it's night,
Right.
because
Right.
you're just drawing off the grid. And
So,
what's the kilowatts on that?
well,
What's it?
I found a picture, not an article.
Ah,
I apologize. So this is fun. Anthony says, "Oh, no super chats allowed." Yeah, yeah. YouTube doesn't allow super chats until the channel's monetized, and they won't allow it to monetize until I get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of time that has been watched. And this, my second channel, nowhere close to it yet. Though I'm planning to do a bunch of super cool live exclusives at GigaFest next month. Hopefully that'll push us over the cliff, but for now. And I've got a new patron to thank this week, but I'll get to that at the end of the show.
all right. Well, if anybody knows anything about this beam thing and what it charges at and things like that, I'd love to know.
I'd love to know.
I'm more than interested. I could probably use one in my yard.
More than interested. What's the next step up from there? Super jazzed?
Lots more interested.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So, with all the problems with gas prices right now, people are showing a lot of interest. Wired put out this article. It's a perfect time for EVs. Problem is, it's a terrible time for EVs. And what they're saying
It
is if cars were available to buy, they would be just dominating right now. But they aren't. They aren't available. And, gas price graphs look like sheer cliffs. Employers are finally summoning white-collar workers back to their offices and their commutes. Nations all over have banned Russian gas and oil. Sure would be nice if we could get some EVs sold, but we can't because there aren't any to sell.
That is a fact because as I already talked about today and I talked about last week, trying to buy three different EVs last week. All I was faced with was, you give us pretty much your tax rebate and we'll sell you the car. And I just wasn't into that. So the EV6s, these dealerships are telling me that people are paying $10,000 over, and they're just doing it. They can't keep them on the lot. The
Yeah.
Ionic 5 can't keep them on the lot. $5,000 over sticker. The Mach-E's, $5,000 or $10,000 over sticker. It's horrible. I asked one of the Ford guys about it, and I had mentioned it on one of the live streams. He got back to me right after I ended the live stream. I mentioned that this guy. I sent him a link saying that Jim Farley, they better not be doing that, or there's going to be hell to pay. And so I sent him the article, and he responded right after the live stream ended, literally like a minute, and said, "Oh well, that's only on the ordered vehicles. It's not on all the other vehicles. We could do what we want."
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, obviously they can, and they are, but so I get it. I understand why the dealerships are doing it. I understand the disconnect between the dealerships and the manufacturers, but it's highlighting a real systemic problem in the entire franchise model. It's a problem, and and they've got a stranglehold on them.
yeah, I don't know if you saw, Brian, if you're paying attention. I did a video on the Stealerships, as Mark just said in my comments. He said that was a nice Stealership video. I'm going to be doing a couple more of those, highlighting problems with the Stealership model and how it's going to die a slow and painful death, and they are going to be the ones killing themselves. It is the slowest suicide ever, short of smoking, I guess. But it is something that is ridiculous. I just find it unbearable. If I'm going to pay extra money to anybody, I would rather pay it to the guys who designed, built, made the vehicles than some guy who's a middleman. It's
Yeah.
literally like having a milkman, and all he's doing is delivering the milk, but he's charging you double the price.
Yeah, and I don't see what the benefit is. It's not like the dealership's getting an extra $5 or $10 or $20,000 on a given model is going to somehow improve the experience. It's not like they're going to, give you better service. They're giving you the same service just for more money.
Yeah, and they're still trying to shaft you every way that they can. That is one of the things I kept asking this salesman at the Kia place was, can you tell me what the value is in this $10,000 that
Right.
you're asking for? I mean, like, what am I getting for it? And his response should have just been, at the very least, well, you're getting the car. But he really couldn't come up with anything. Like, that's just what they're going for now. That's what people are paying. No, that's what you're charging.
Right. And it
And it,
doesn't help or make sense.
not at all.
No.
Not at all. But
So,
so why did people want to buy EVs so badly right now?
it's a great mystery, although Salon suggests it could be because high gas prices have a lot more people searching for electric vehicles. Now, Barry, you know what a gently used, fairly new electric vehicle sells for. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
pretty cheap, right? Pretty big discounts.
yeah. If you're lucky, you can get them for probably like $1,000 more than what they were new.
Yeah, and that's true.
Which,
And for the longest time, you could get a used Leaf for like $6,000, and even those, if you bought that used Leaf 3 years ago for $6,000, you can probably sell it for $8,000.
you might even be able to sell it for more if the
It
battery's
depends.
still working, of course.
Well, those were the first generation ones, so you're looking at like an 80-mile range. But for running around town, that's all you need.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's good for some people, not for others. It
No,
depends
no,
on everyone's
right.
commuting factors and things like that. So,
But everyone knows what their
but
use case is.
yes,
So yeah,
yes,
it's a good time to be selling an electric car, even if it's used. And there are some
yeah,
states, I think, that still have incentives available on secondhand EVs.
Those are probably California and probably a handful of others,
Just
but
a handful. It's
not.
definitely a small
Yeah.
number, but people live in those states. I think Canada might have a used one as well in somewhere. Not sure. Not sure. Any exciting new rigs out there we should be talking about?
Yeah, I wanted to show. This is our entry for EV of the week. This is a Vanderhall Brawley. It is due out this year, and it has a good chance
Are you stuck? Bear, if you can hear
of
me.
cycles.
Oh, are you back? There you are.
What happened to you?
Well, I was looking to see if I was disconnected. I don't know. Please tell me about the Brawley.
Brawley. It's made by a company called Vanderhall that was born in 2010. So a fairly new company. This is their electric. They're going to be their electric version of an off-road vehicle. This is not going to be street legal.
Oh,
There's going to be several versions of these, all the way up to one that starts at $50,000 and has the potential of at least 200 miles of range. The the base one is going to have, I think, 120 miles of range. Since this is just an off-road vehicle, you're actually not going to need much more than that because you have to tow it to wherever you're going because
yeah.
you can't ride it on the road. Though there will be upgrades available that are going to get it above 200. But they also have some other vehicles that I wanted to show you. If you go to models and wait patiently,
Mine is taking days as well.
yeah,
There we are. Models, yes.
that Venice one up there for 29,950. That is a GM powered little car right there, and I bought one of those on Sunday.
Oh, do you have it?
I have it here. It's blue, and it's all sorts of gorgeous.
You're kidding. You got the Venice, the 29.9 version.
Yes, I did. Now it is gas powered, but it's a toy, so it's kind of different. It doesn't count as like my everyday driver. So, pretty excited about that.
Huh.
And hold on a second.
They have a location near you?
I just had my screen go down. Hold on. My tabs just went down. They are sold. They are sold out of dealers. Like we have a dealer called Ride Now, and I still have the wrong screen up. I grabbed the wrong one.
Well, I'm looking at the engine right now. 194 horsepower on a little tiny
There we
guy
go.
like that. That's pretty snappy.
Yeah, it weighs in about just over 1,500 pounds.
Yeah.
And it has a power to weight ratio of a Porsche GT4.
I bet.
Yeah, so it's a fast little car.
Huh. Very cool. Very cute. Obviously, we're all deeply ashamed of you for the gasoline aspect, but considering there is no electric aspect available at this time, and the Solo is not a very exciting car.
Yeah, I also bought something else.
Uh-oh.
Polaris Slingshot.
Did you really? We talked about that when I
Yeah.
was visiting you there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture that I can get up on the screen real quick. Let's see if I can do this without screwing up everything again. Okay, so that's the Venice that I got,
Right?
and just because I don't want to put the wrong picture up, see if I can find a picture of the
And Jeff
Slingshot.
Songster says more stylish than an Arcimoto. For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
and
This is a head turner in a much better way.
okay. I know you can't see this yet because you got to wait for the delay, but this is the Slingshot.
So I can't see it anyhow.
Oh, I thought you had my screen going over there.
No. I closed the screens to to minimize my lag situation.
Okay. Well, I got those two, and I know I've told you, Brian, that is for Toro and for renting and
Right.
for having a general good time also.
Right. That's pretty cool.
So, Olivia has mentioned that the beam charger is 4.3 kilowatts,
Okay.
would, which would be extremely slow. Last thing on the Vanderhall before we move on is that they go to the next tab, which is Edison 2 or
Right.
2 squared.
Right.
That is a version of the Venice, but electric.
Okay.
And I don't think it's out yet. I haven't found out much information on it, but it's got the three wheels, one in the back. I assume this one is going to also be front wheel drive with, don't know if it's one or two motors.
It does. It says
but-
front and twin motor.
Okay. But I'm pretty sure that twin motor is going to be for both wheels in the front, not
Right.
for the rear wheel.
Right.
The rear wheel is static. It's just for hold the back of the bike up and for braking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one is going to be an interesting one. It's a small battery, 28 kilowatts, so nothing absurdly large.
right.
Curb weight is still 1,400 pounds. 0 to 60 is in the same range as that is the same range as the gas one, and we're looking at up to 200 miles on a single charge, which is also about the same as the gas one because the gas one only has an 8-gallon tank.
Right. And this is not, this is not a road trip car, unless your idea of a road trip is stopping every 2 hours to take pictures. And, if you're like on one of those cruises, club cruises where you go town to town, perfect. But yeah, you're not going to take to the open highway, cruise down Route 6 on this.
Well, you have to stop every 2 hours to pull the bugs out of your teeth. So.
Right. Do we know the pricing on it?
No pricing that I've seen on
Yeah.
the Edison, but it's just as sweet looking as the Venice. So you
Yeah.
know I'm going to like the style.
Yeah.
So they're really cool looking cars. I really like them.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. We will follow them. We will follow them.
Yes.
Oh, boy. It's interesting at the
JJ's
bottom here, there's a picture of it rolling down a hill.
Haha. No, you must be on the wrong tab.
Why? What's there to talk about?
Was that for JJ's benefit?
Yes.
Okay. So tomorrow is the Nikola Analyst Day, and then on Thursday is the Investor Day. Neither of which I want to attend because
No.
I would never think of showing my face there.
No.
So we're going to hear some good things, I hope. They started production yesterday, was the start of their production line. Whether or not that means they actually flipped a switch and they started doing it, or if that meant they're just installing the equipment. I don't know. I'd like to think that means they've got their first truck in there and it's going down the line and they've got people at the stations and they're going to be building the trucks.
And we've
so
seen
that
a lot
started yesterday.
of, I don't know if you watch it, Bear, but there's this channel called Bear's Workshop that does flyovers. And I've seen, you're seeing, a lot more trucks in the yard. Those bodies that we saw going in are coming back out with stuff attached.
With stuff attached, yes.
And Jeff Saunders
And,
says, Nikola.
I think it every time I say it. I think
Do you
it in
really?
my head. Yeah, oh yeah, I can't help it.
Jeff asks, are they filling orders yet, Bear?
They are waiting for the orders to get past the testing process. Those trucks that they're making right now are all for testing. And once the testing phase is done, which we were told was going to, for the ones that are already started, is going to be at the end of this first quarter, they will hopefully at that point confirm the order for the rest of the LOI, of the letter of intent. And then they will have the actual orders to fulfill. everything that they have is for letters of intent or MOUs.
So I'm going to
So
tell you right now, I am pretty excited to hear what Nikola has to say tomorrow. I am, of course, deeply disappointed that they wouldn't include you in that, because that's nonsense. That is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm excited to see what they have to say, because at this point, they've got a good idea what their costs are. They've got a good idea what their market is, and they've got a good idea what their roadmap is. So I think this will be very encouraging to see how the pieces are falling together.
I think they are falling together, and I think they've got good things ahead, which you got to throw in. They have bad things behind them, but they've definitely been able to move on from that. Where I think a lot of places would not have recovered from that.
Yeah. There's a comment on your channel. Olivia asked, Did you know Nvidia powers Lucid Dream Drive hardware?
Did I know?
Did you know that?
I did know, and Nvidia has teamed up with Lucid and BYD for their new self-driving platform.
Boom.
Thanks.
We're mind readers.
Yeah, we were sitting on that, just waiting for someone to say.
Just for someone to mention it.
Yes.
That's how we should do all of it. We've got 10,000 tabs open, and we're waiting for you to say what the next thing is. Well, that would get ugly so fast.
Painful finding it. As far as I'm concerned, I think this is good. I don't know much about the NVIDIA Drive. NVIDIA says it's great, but it does show that Lucid has some sort of roadmap for self-driving, and they're not trying to sit there and figure it all out themselves.
Right. So you know who NVIDIA is. They're the largest graphics card, very top. So this is, in my opinion, a very good sign for BYD and Lucid. Now, BYD, I thought, has made a lot of strides on their own self-driving platform, but I could be mistaken. I could be confusing it with something else, and more likely, they just didn't. So did this do anything to the stock?
Yeah, it popped a little bit. It went up. What did it go up today? It was like $1.50 or something. Let's see here. It went up $1.26.
So like 5-10%? Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
5% for the day.
Yeah.
At one point, it was up 50 cents higher. It was up almost $2 for the day. You can see when this announcement came out, it shows up right on the graph that I'm showing that you can't see, Brian.
NVIDIA has deep pockets and a wealth of experienced, qualified, exceptional engineers. I think this is a smart move for a company like Lucid, who is so small and burning cash at such a shocking rate that they could really use to get that under control. I think this will be a better product and cost less than reinventing the wheel.
Now, what I wonder is, have they been using these chips in the few hundred cars that they've made so far?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they already have that platform set up or not?
The test drives I've seen, the reviews I've seen, said that right now what they have is basically adaptive cruise control, which isn't that complicated compared to trying to actually master any degree of self-driving.
That is true. Very true.
Yeah.
So I think it's just good news for Lucid. They needed it. They needed some good news after they haven't had much of anything special since their earnings report, which left a lot of people with some throw up in their mouth.
Jeff says that all EVs, the stocks popped today. So they're all up a bit, which is great.
Yeah. Well, this particular pop happened at the same time, about around the same time the announcement came out.
It could have been an additional multiplier.
Yeah. So have we got our funny story for the week?
Do we? So did you know, Bear, I know you are a big fan of Tesla, so I hate to tell you this. Mercedes Drive Pilot beats Tesla Autopilot by taking legal responsibility. Yes, Mercedes-Benz has done it. They are now the leader in autonomy. Did you know?
Yeah, I heard about that, and then I just started laughing so hard
Well, do
I
you know
tease
you can
myself.
use it on literally any road? Is that true?
On any road, as long as it's only certain highways
In
below 40
Germany,
miles in Germany,
that are pre-mapped.
pre-mapped under 40 miles per hour, and I think you have to be wearing a red and black and yellow shirt to mark
So,
that you're in Germany.
what's the speed limit on most of the autobahn? Do you know?
Unlimited, not on
Infinity is the
most, but
speed limit, so
yeah,
you have to go
infinity.
under 40.
Yeah, so if there's an accident up ahead
Mm-hmm.
because somebody was driving too fast
Uh
and
huh.
rolled it, and then you got stuck in stop and go traffic, this would work out great.
It sure would. It sure would. This is not auto. This isn't even autopilot. This is traffic jam assist. This is
It,
because 40 miles an hour on the autobahn. Sorry, under 40 miles an hour is a very rare use case. And it's only certain parts of certain roads. It's got to be divided. It's got to have no traffic signals, not an excess of on ramps or off ramps. This is not exciting to me. To me, this feels like they put it on rails, which is great for a roller coaster, not so great for an open road buggy situation, you know.
yeah, there's just so many different things about this. There was more at the bottom or somewhere else in the article that it just was putting more things on. Oh yeah, only operate during daytime, reasonably clear weather,
Right?
without overhead obstructions.
Right.
Inclement weather, construction zones, tunnels, and emergency vehicles will all trigger a handover warning, and you cannot close your eyes or go to sleep while it operates.
Right.
Which is fair enough on those last 2
Right.
points.
Sure, sure. This is, I mean, it's not nothing, but it's pretty close. And when they say they have taken the lead, you can't actually get this, right? It's not available. They hope
Well,
they hope it will be
they
available
hope
by
to.
the end of this year. The article says you may see it by next summer. But the beauty is, you know how computer miniaturization goes? Look at how compact this processor is. That's a
Well,
thing
this
of
is-
beauty.
that is just their testing equipment to
Yeah,
record
but
the data.
It's
So it's still fun to make fun of.
yeah, it's all of it. But it is fun to make fun of. Obviously, they would have something the size of a large motherboard, I assume, running it. But
Yeah, it's just really sad that they're going to put out this article saying that they've actually beat them and this is road and track. Come on.
they should know
The-
better.
The Tesla Autopilot in its current form is not even in the same category just because it's not level 3, it's level 2, but at level 2 it works, and it works almost everywhere. You just need striping on the road, and it works. Granted, in some bad weather it won't work,
Right.
but this is something that doesn't work almost anywhere. Now, they do have one interesting thing on here. They talk about the flashing lights and how autopilot type of systems on cars do not recognize flashing lights. So the car is programmed to to throw over responsibility back to the driver. But they have a 10-second delay on there instead of Tesla's take over now or die, which I kind of like the delay. I know 10 seconds is a long time.
It is a long
I think
time.
maybe, yeah, because you could be dead in 10 seconds. If there's something that requires you, 10 seconds is like, oh, you could be bleeding on the side of the road 10 seconds from now.
Right.
But I do wish Tesla would give you more of a warning
Yeah.
than, not
Now,
that I've had it
now,
happen
now,
that much,
now.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got some pretty great comments here. John helpfully pointed out, but I thought Mary led.
Maybe Mary got another job somewhere else.
That's true.
Maybe
That's
she's-
true. Also, John also asked, "Is that a flux capacitor?" And yeah, I think so. I think it is. And
I think it's two of them.
and the good point is the flux doesn't work unless you hit 88 miles an hour. I mean, we know that. We know that. And Jeff
how in the
suggests,
wor-
how would it work?
How would it work if it only works under 40, but you got to drive 88?
That is the conundrum of the Mercedes Level 3. And Jeff said, such elegant design. Are they going to put all that in a roof pod for the release version? Well, it's
Okay,
nice because in the trunk you can still carry a pamphlet. No, this is all this is all testing and calibration and all that hardware, of course. But it's fun for the
Brian.
joke. It looks
Brian,
like a
you never
60s IBM server rack. You're not far off, Digital Blade.
Brian.
I'm here.
Hey, you never told me what this thing costs.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because Mercedes hasn't told us, but we have a pretty good guess. It is, where is it on here? It's under one last thing. It is between $5,000 and $7,000. Now, Bear and I have talked about this. $12,000, I think, is a bit steep for Tesla's full self-driving as it exists today. As it exists today, definitely too high. Even if it is solved in the next year, still kind of too high for my taste. But $5,000 to $7,000 for this, I think that is too high. And it's not available on every model. You got to get to the C class and above, I think. So this, you have to first buy a very expensive car, and then spend another $5,000 to $7,000 for traffic jam assist.
C-Class isn't that expensive. Just saying.
Right, but it isn't the entry level, is it? I thought. Is it?
No, I think the A-Class is now, though I
Yeah,
never really see any.
Yeah. So I don't know. At any rate, it's pretty wild, pretty limited.
Yeah, not interested.
I'm not interested.
Easy pass.
Well, I will tell you, there are people who really like the comfort and handling of a Mercedes, and for them, this could be fine. I mean, this would be their only real option.
Do you think it's just a software upgrade?
Oh, no. I think if you buy this one with Drive Pilot, it will not have updates. It will not get better over time. That's not something very many companies do. And certainly nobody does it for free.
I mean, is all the equipment already there? Like, you can say, I want to add this to the car at a later time, and
no. I would say no. I would say they don't give you the hardware unless you buy the hardware package. I don't think they're using it for fleet learning or anything like that. I was at a dealership once. I don't remember what I was doing there. And this girl came in furious because she just bought a Jeep. She was young, early 20s, was way out of her budget. And she was furious because she bought it without a stereo. And when she took it to get a third-party stereo installed, she found out it also doesn't have speakers. It's like, yeah, we don't put speakers in a car that doesn't have a stereo.
That's weird.
It is weird. She's like, well, now how am I supposed to have music in my brand new car? It's like, well,
if you're buying a radio, get some speakers.
Right? But, this was the 90s, man. Stuff cost money then.
Yeah. No, everything's free. Olivia says the Dream Drive Pro is $9,000 on the Touring and Pure. And that's another thing, because that's probably, that's not all functioning either.
Yeah.
I definitely have problems with all the manufacturers, Tesla, Lucid, anybody selling this stuff, and it doesn't quite work yet.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, and it'd be different if they're selling it and it's going to work in a month or 3, but these are just question marks.
Yeah.
There was I want to say it was Out of Spec Motoring who, I don't remember. No, it wasn't him. So anyway, there was a channel I saw where the guy was trading in his Mach-E, and he said that the Blue Cruise never got an update the entire time he owned it. And that was something he was absolutely counting on. He was going to make videos about it, but it just never happened.
I think I get an update on my Model Y about every 2 weeks.
Are the updates meaningful?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Usually they're throwing in a little thing here and there. Like, now I can change the color of the car. I can make the fart noise outside of the car, which is great.
And now you can't make it while you're driving?
Well, I can make it while I'm driving. Trust me. The only problem is the white seats. So.
No good. No good. So we've got about 8 minutes left. Do we have any questions from the peanut gallery?
Peanuts.
Jeff did point out that the Autobahn is less and less unlimited because it was really in between cities, and cities are getting more and more connected. It's approximately 70 miles an hour in most areas, which if Germany is anything like America, that means 80, and that's still twice what Blue Cruise will allow. So that's
Yeah, I've heard that the Autobahn is not as unlimited as us silly Americans will think.
no.
But it's good to just have that dream that there's a place that you can go
There is.
where you can drive as fast as you want.
There is. The speed
Yeah,
limit is still whatever is reasonable and prudent for the flow of traffic. But there's a practical limit to how fast you'd want to go anyway. And yeah,
Well, there are unlimited roads down in Mexico, and because I just can't read those stop signs or the speed limit signs, and neither can my Tesla.
Oh.
My Tesla has no idea how to figure out the Mexican speed limit signs. It cannot read them, and it just throws up all. It never changes when it sees them, or when I see them. It never changes like it does with the American speed limit signs. But with the Mexican speed limit signs, it just goes right past them, and doesn't recognize it as a sign, which I find to be a little bit interesting. I thought that there's got to be Teslas in Mexico that are not just people from the U.S. driving, but they and I thought the kilometer speed limit signs probably look the same in Mexico as they do, say, in Germany or France or other places that use kilometers. So I don't know why it doesn't recognize the kilometer sign, and that's with my car being changed over to kilometers when I get down there, because you got to be very careful not to go 1 kilometer over down
right?
there.
Or 1 kilometer under. You're acting suspicious, Senor Ringo.
Yeah,
So should I spill some exclusives about my event, my upcoming event?
Oh yeah, you should.
So it looks like the Owners Club in Austin is not going to be inviting me as a speaker, which is disappointing and absolutely ridiculous. And they have, from what I can tell, no one who knows anything about the factory there. But, it's just the factory. Who cares, right? So, of course, I'm hosting my own meet and greet, which instead of $20 has free pizza. And I'm going to have most of the quad squad there. So I'm going to have 3 or 4 drone pilots. I'm going to have 2 kind of big guests. I don't know if I should name them now. I've only got 30 people on here and it's fallen, so I don't know. It looks like Warren Redlick will be there. And it looks like Dr. Know-It-All is going to be joining our event as well. So that is very cool. Those will both, Warren confirmed a couple days ago. It looks like Dr. Know-It-All confirmed with someone on the planning committee earlier today. And we've got a couple more who may show up that are still in the deciding phase. So my meet and greet is going to be pretty awesome. And the fun thing, when I reserved the space, they asked me how many people are you expecting, and I was like, 50. I think it's going to be more than 50.
Well, that'd be great if it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be more than 50. It'd be 50 for each channel would be my guess at a minimum.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's an outdoor shelter. It holds 100 if it's raining, and
All right, and am I going to this? I didn't get my invite.
You haven't gotten your invite. I hope you're going. Because I still haven't booked my room, and I was thinking we'd split an Airbnb, and then I would just chip in on ground transportation, so I don't have to get a car.
Yeah, it's very possible. Very possible. I just got to pull my brain apart and figure out what I should be spending money on next, because I just had a little expenditure this past weekend.
Yeah, you went on a spree. You got to take your meds to prevent that.
Oh, we almost bought a third.
What was the third?
It was another Vanderhall.
Wow.
Well, you got to have his and hers.
I guess, yeah, if you're going to rent them out as a pair.
Yeah. But we didn't. We brake checked.
So Mr. C wants to know when and where is the event. It is on GigaFest Day. GigaFest starts at 4 p.m. Ours is from noon to 3. at Southeast Metro Park, which is about 1 or 2 exits away from Giga Texas.
Hey, so what time's GigaFest?
4 p.m. to 11 p.m. 11 or 12.
Okay. All right.
And
Just in
mine's-
case we somehow get tickets.
Well, no one's got tickets yet. It's hard to beg for tickets when no one has one to share. Photogib wants to know if I'm going to be broadcasting live from the Shindig. Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm trying to get Bear there, is so we could do a special live in-person episode of the podcast on the wrong day.
Oh, it just makes so much sense.
But I've got I've got a cool camera now that's really good for live streaming. That's gonna really rock. I'm very excited. Olivia, can't stand Warren. Such a Tesla fanboy and conspiracy theorist. No offense, Brian. Yeah, I'm not offended. Warren is quite a character. But if I were to restrict the event to only people I like, it'd just be me and Bear.
Yeah, that's true.
No, that's not true. I obviously...
And I wouldn't be there. That's true.
Yeah, you wouldn't be there. It just... And I certainly wouldn't be there if it was just people I like. But, but the good news is you're not required to meet each person at the meet and greet. So, yeah, April 7th. April 7th. Did I say April 1st? No, April 7th.
April 7th. No, I got no problems meeting Warren. And
yeah. You've had some conversations with Warren in the past?
Yeah, I have. And it will make me reminisce because he looks like my dad 30 years ago.
That's right.
So. He lives 5 miles from him.
Jeff says Warren is bonkers, but fun too. Yeah, he can be bonkers. Some of his political opinions are pretty interesting. Yeah. So. That's right. And Warren was a lawyer. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are just about out of time. If anybody wants to, what I want to do is I want to say a big thanks as a due to my Patreons and welcome my newest patron this week at the Bear fan level, JJ.
Hey!
Thank you, JJ,
Look at that.
for sponsoring me at the level of 420. 420 pennies, of course. I'm not expecting JJ to give me $420. I think
you just need to move that decimal over when he's not looking.
Yeah, because that's how it works. That's how it works. Yeah, Jeff says, daddy issues for Bear. Too much information. Yeah. I did want to say thanks to everybody who did show up. Mark and Jeff and Anthony and Lily Mae and Mr. C. Yeah, all you guys. Photo Gib. Very cool.
All right, well, I got to throw out... Hey, all right, Brian, my turn.
Yeah.
All right, I want to say thanks to my new patron who just happened while we're on the show, Anthony. Thank you. I appreciate your support. That is awesome. And I also want to thank everyone else who's here. Olivia, Lily Mae, JJ, Peace Channel, Mr. C. We appreciate you guys being here. We're going to be back here next Tuesday. I did have one big one. Hockey Day got this in at the last minute. How do you feel about renting out your cars after watching them crash that Model S? It's the risk that you take, and you don't know whether or not that particular host, what kind of requirements that they went after on that. You need to make sure, verify their driver's license. Do you want to rent to people who are 22 years old, or do you want to put a limit at 25? You can even go 30 for certain things. You do need to look at who your person is. There are ways to find out their age on every rental, and to me that is important. I GPS track everything. Tell people that I GPS track them. So anything that they're doing, I am going to be aware of. It makes people know that they're not going to just be able to do this, get away with it. I don't think that this idiot thought that he was going to get away with that, or that it was going to be that bad. Right. Otherwise, that wouldn't have happened. The person left the scene, but everybody knows who the person is. Right. Because it's all trackable. Who rented the car? Well, you follow it up from there. You're going to find the person. And, then there's obviously insurance. You don't want to have to rely on that. But I've been renting out things for years. And I've got 2 open insurance claims that happened in the last 2 weeks on other items of mine.
Wow.
It's just something that you have to take care of. It's part of the business. So
Yeah. And Olivia just asked, are we talking about the one that crashed at the gas station? No, there was a guy at a Tesla meetup who decided to try and launch a Plaid over a crest in a hill and totaled it, smashed through some trash cans, hit a parked car, totaled the car. Pure stupidity, and it wasn't even his. And PhotoGib wants to know, does Toro co-insure?
they do have insurance available. Typically, in most situations, you settle it with the renter outside with their own personal insurance because that will work out better.
Wow. And Matt wanted me, MD Hofsty wanted me to say thanks to him too. Of course, I was just scrolling up who was visible at the time. So I think, Bear, we need to get a going. So thanks to everybody who's here. And Bear,
Real quick, Anthony wants to know if I am an Abate member by chance. I'm not sure what Abate is, but we are getting off right now. So, Anthony, I'll leave the comments open for a little bit, and if you want to respond, I will respond to that. So, no, I'm not a member, but I don't know what it is.
And, yeah, so Bear, you've got some live stuff coming up. Would you tell us about that real quick?
Tomorrow, live stream of Lucid. Then my next one won't be until next Monday of Nikola.
And I've got my live show coming up Friday as usual, 7 p.m. Pacific. Yep.
Yeah. So make sure you guys show up. And if you guys haven't, get on Brian's channel, subscribe. He needs to get monetized.
Yeah, it's killing me. It's killing me. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Bear. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today.
Thank you, Brian. We will see you next week.
See you all next week.
All right. Bye-bye.